Hello once again. We have a new band here that we're very very excited about. Mason and I have been listening to these guys on repeat recently. This is Mount Onsra. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves? Tell us what you do in the band and everything.
Yeah. So I'm Rusty, and this is going to sound weird, but do everything musically. And then mainly, maybe like 99%. And then Simon on it,
Just
who's just
stands there? Is that all he does, or what?
he
Yeah.
just yeah, and
I,
has
I did precious little, really. So what I do, I wait at home until Russell sends me some music, and then I sit for about, I don't know, 2 to 3 months, probably, kind of going, what do I do here? And then I sing and write lyrics mainly, and sometimes do a little bit of sprinkles of fairy dust.
Hey, there you go.
Ooh.
There we go.
There you
Yeah.
go.
But
The
I
fairy
think
dust. I'm curious to know what the fairy dust is.
okay.
Is this like another texture to the music, or is this like some like rhythmic things, or what are you doing?
The fairy dust can be anything, really. It could be strings, it could be synths, it could be whatever particular toy I've picked up that week.
Beautiful.
And then just finding places for it to go, because that's one of the fascinating things about this band is that so Russell and I have got a long history of making music with a massive 20-year gap in between, and historically we've always written music together, but this time Russell's just takes on the instrumental side of things, which is amazing because it means that I don't have to do very much.
Now, Russ, that leads me into a question here, because this is, I mean, obviously you guys have had some experience. You can tell through your music that this is not your guys' first rodeo.
And the color of your beards, like you can tell you've been through the ringer before.
Hey, I wasn't gonna be the one to say
you,
it.
Mason. This
I wasn't
is
gonna be the one.
fashion.
I heard the color of the beards when you were saying that. So it's fine.
That's right. Yeah.
No, I'm massively impressed by the musicality of your group here. This is an incredible number of songs that through and through, every single one is very, very high quality, very well thought out, so textured, so layered, has so many cinematic qualities. Would you mind just kind of telling us how you go about the musical songwriting of the band?
Yeah. So it's funny you should say about the cinematic thing, because right now I'm at work. Well, I've been released to do this, but I work on a film course. So I work on a film degree. So I teach cinematography and lighting and stuff like that. So
Interesting.
So I'm in one of the studios at the minute, but there's a way I think about creativity and making music and films that's very similar. So I don't kind of separate them. So I make stuff rather than make music and films, so it's kind of, it doesn't have, I kind of blend it together.
Sure.
So we were talking about this a while back, but it's like tonally and I guess, like tone wise, I see music the same as film. So if I'm lighting a scene, I see highlights, midtones and dark tones, and and it's exactly the same as treble, middle and bass. So it's weird. I when I'm doing music, I'm like, when I'm writing a piece of music, I'm like, okay, it hasn't got enough highlights like in it. Or if I'm making a film, it's like that image looks muffled. It needs highlights. It's kind of like a weird frame of mind, I think. But so it's very much based on feel, and that it's not like a technical, I'm playing a C, I need to go to this chord because that's how it works, because to be honest, I couldn't tell you kind of what chords I'm playing. It's like I noodle on the sofa and
You're just looking for sounds. Like, you're not trying to like piece again like these chords together. You're just literally looking for a sound, and if you're like, oh, that's an interesting sound that is like going to balance out this other sound or whatever. Like, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah. So I'll write this piece, and then it could be a drum part, it could be a bass guitar bit, it could be a bit of guitar, could be on a synth, and then when something happens and my brain lights up and it's like, oh, okay, then the phone comes out and I have to record it so I remember it tomorrow. So like I record me playing it video wise, so I know where I was playing it, and then I'll maybe go down to, I've got a little studio room, and I'll maybe go down to there and play that and record it into Logic, maybe loop it a bit and just start playing other guitar parts over the top, maybe a bit of synth, or maybe I've got a bass line that, okay, that sounds, I can hear this with this guitar, and it just builds like that really. And then, you know, and you kind of know that like, okay, it's good, we've got to go into another section here, and then we start kind of playing with that. So it's more of an organic feel thing. It's not really a, I don't know. There's no secret sauce, I guess, apart from our brains, I guess. Like, you know, it's just got to start noodling, and these are how all these songs are made. So just quickly, like going back to what Simon was saying, like, because the first record was a lockdown thing, so we weren't meant to be a band. We were, it was just everyone couldn't do anything, as we all know, couldn't make films, so it was like, okay, like we've got music to make stuff. So Simon, out of the blue, I haven't spoken to Simon or messaged him for years, and Simon out of the blue just messaged me and said, do you want to do some remote music for fun?
Well, actually, I remembered. I remember what it was, because I was on. So we're all locked down. You can't go and get your hair cut. So what do? You go on Instagram Live and have your hair cut by your daughter. That's what you do, obviously. So I was having my hair cut, and Russ popped up, and so I think this was a fairly common haircut during lockdown, where you just have quite a long bit here, and then these bits all
shave it up. Yeah.
So I think Russell just messaged. So I live in a place called Radstock, which is like the coolest name of a place ever.
That is cool.
But he just said, "Oh look, it's the Radstock Samurai." And
I just can't imagine, like, if you haven't seen somebody for years and years and years, and the first thing that like the first moment that you see them again is them getting a haircut by their daughter. Like, that is such a weird moment to like run into somebody for the first time in years.
So that's the world that we lived in back then.
Yeah. So I think we started talking then about maybe like making some stuff. Well, making a song just for fun, just to see how this remote music thing works, because we'd never done it before. So I sent one full track. I kind of had a bit of a inspiration moment and just kind of like wrote a guitar part, and I started getting overexcited like I do, and I just ended up with a finished song. And then I sent it to Simon at like 10 o'clock at night, and then I woke up in the morning for work at 7 o'clock, and he had sent it back with vocals on it.
Oh man, you were obsessed with that moment then, weren't you?
Yeah.
Simon? You were like, all right, I'm in the zone. I'm gonna move right down this line, and I'm just gonna nail this thing.
Yeah.
You know, and then, it was because it was just one of those things where you kind of, because the way Russ describes writing the music, the beauty of, so all the songwriting that I've done in my life, it's been me with a guitar. So I know where it's going to go. I know, and you fall into kind of usual kind of tropes and ways of thinking and patterns of singing. But the fact that I had to, I don't know what it was, but you kind of get this complete piece of music, which in and of itself is wonderful and beautiful, and it's got twists and turns in it. And then I can only describe it as sitting down to meditate and just like try and live in this piece of music. To then
you really are like a samurai, the Radstock samurai.
Absolutely. So I took that idea to the nth degree, but it was like I probably haven't written songs, full songs anyway, I don't know, for about a good 10 years. I released a solo album in, I don't know, 2011 or something maybe. And then it's been like songs have been far and few between, just because that traditional way of writing songs, it just didn't appeal to me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But this just meant that I like, Russ has got this knack of writing music that just unlocks my subconscious. So then it was just like, right, I get in there. I just need to live in the music for a little while, and these words come out. And so that then became almost a daily occurrence once we started getting into writing stuff. Like that was it was a mad period of time, actually.
Yeah,
for that album.
Because
go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, so we did the one song, and then as soon as Simon sent it back, and this is a continued thing. As soon as Simon sent it back, it's like, oh God, this is really good. And we were like, and then should we do another one? Yeah, okay. Send it over, sing, comes back. And then it's like, cool. And then before we knew it, there was 10. And then we were like, we should just properly do this. You know, it's silly. We're just writing this music, and are we just gonna just listen to it ourselves? And you know, so we kind of decided, come on, let's just go for it, because I personally was trying not to be in a band again. so I did a fair bit of touring up until about 2013 in a pretty extreme metal band.
What was that band called?
Brotherhood of the Lake, we were called.
Oh, that's a great name.
Yeah, so it was kind of like,
search it out, Mason. Go for it.
Verging on kind of black metal-y. Yeah,
that's Mason and I's kind of forte here.
Okay, cool.
We really dig that kind of music. So
if you look at the videos on YouTube, it's quite disturbing. But carry on.
So basically, we were. I was doing that, and I got to a point. You know, I was getting older, and I was like, I can't be sleeping on people's floors in Belgium anymore. It's just like I can't do it. So
a common complaint, that is.
Yeah. So I stopped. I was like, I'm done now. I've done enough of it. It was great. I'm just going to go and do something else, you know? So I stopped, and I kind of got a little bit of kind of education within filmmaking and stuff. And now I end up teaching it. So I was, I was out. I was like, cool, just completely different path, change your life. This is great. Something new. And now we're here. so it's kind of, and now we're talking about, should we do a little weekend in Europe? And it's like, okay, here we go. It's happening. So it was quite weird. It was like it was a real organic, accidental band, basically.
Well, what a blessing that you guys have given us. I don't know about Mason, but everyone that I have shown you guys to has just been absolutely blown away. And I've heard a lot of different, monikers put on you guys. Like, it's like, what did I tell you? The one person said, my coworker, Mason, it was like, if Explosions in the Sky, Tool, and I don't remember who the third one was, had a baby. And it was like such a weird combination, but it's a combination that works so well. But that also brings me into another question. It's for Simon here. And it's, you were talking about how you were kind of doing singer-songwriter type stuff before.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, you're in like, 4/4. You're just trying to keep a good rhythm while you sing pretty, right?
Yeah.
This is a little different. I mean, there's not exactly like, you don't necessarily know where that downbeat's going to be at least from my listening experience. Have you found that singing to this is a little bit more different than what you used to sing before, or how you used to sing before?
100,000%. But you should, like, there's some songs that off the new album that obviously haven't come out as a single that are absolutely madness when it comes to time signatures. But I think that's the beauty of it for me, is that I have to find within every song, like sometimes Russell sends something over and I'm like, I haven't got a clue what I can do in this. But it is it's the spending time in the world of it that then like, and once I found one bit, then I'm in, you know. And it's like we've got I think the pair of us, because we've known each other for so long, like we will know when something's working and when something's not. And there's maybe like there's a few times when I'll be a bit, I'm not sure about this, and I'll send it to Russ knowing that I'm not sure about it, and it'd be like, nah, go, like let's find another way in, you know. But like this, like, I don't know, I Question I on the new album, what time signature is that in? 1,000,004 or something.
No, that's a nice 9, that one.
Brilliant.
9. Wow.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. But here's the thing, like we were saying about the, you know, the way I'm putting this stuff together, I don't know what time signatures are in until later. So I'm just noodling, and this sounds great. I'm just going to make stuff on top of that. And then I send it to Simon, and he's like, what's happening? In my mind, it sounds fine.
It just sounds like a country groove.
Yeah. Do you lay down the drum tracks as well?
Yeah.
And you have a brain. You have a brain that can just follow.
I just feel it. Because the thing is when I start writing, I hear all the drums and everything. I know what it's going to sound like.
That's impressive. Not a lot of people can just pick up.
Yeah.
Playing it on guitar is one thing, but trying to like actually follow it and make it sync up with percussion can be quite difficult for, I would say, the majority of the population when you're playing with weird time signatures.
Yeah, I guess it's, if you're writing it though, if you're in it, if you're learning someone else's music, it's a lot harder. But if you're just writing it, you can hear where the snares are dropping. So you're kind of hearing it in your head anyway. And then
you can. Yeah.
Yeah, but so it's a case of and I found it, because we weren't even going to do this live, it was just going to be a studio project, and now we've been practicing we've got some really talented friends that have decided to come and help us, and they're going to play the extra parts so we can play it live, because there's only 2 of us, right?
Fantastic.
So it wasn't really till then when the drummer was saying, Rusty, come on, like, what is it like? How do I work this bit out, you know? So I've kind of had to sit down on the kit and just go through little bits, but nothing major though. Like, Joe's a great drummer, but it's moments like that when I realize it's that weird, because I'm not hearing it, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dynamic that you guys have right now of, like, you know, Rusty, you're writing all the music and then sending it over to Simon to like do some lyrics and then maybe like just a few other things. But it sounds actually really similar to the dynamic that the National have. I don't know if you guys are fans of the National or not, but you know, the I think is it the Dresner brothers, like they primarily write all the music for the band, and then once all the music has been mostly recorded, then they send it over to Matt to start, you know, singing and figuring out lyrics for, you know, and the melodies that he wants to sing and whatnot. But that's essentially, from my understanding, or at least for a while, they have made a lot of their music with that kind of dynamic where the music has already been written, and then Matt figures out lyrics afterwards, or after the fact. So it sounds like, you know, and they're becoming, you know, arguably maybe one of the most influential bands in the world right now, with, you know, influencing like bands like Taylor Swift and a whole like host of really popular pop bands now. And so it's just really cool that like that dynamic, you know, it's a dynamic that has worked for one of the most influential bands in the world right now.
Yeah.
Tool does the same thing, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Well,
yeah, but I think though,
we just been to see them on Monday.
Yeah.
How was it?
Always makes you level up.
Yeah. I want to see them live so bad. They were going to come to my hometown here, and it got closed down because of the pandemic, and then they never rescheduled it. I was upset.
You really have to, like, Russ has been to see them probably since they started touring the UK, but this is my first time.
Every tour they've been to the UK, I've been.
Hell yeah.
It was like, it's not like, you kind of think when you go and see an orchestra or whatever, you're going to see like virtuosos on instruments, and it's like Danny Carey comes out and does this rhythm thing, like which just completely changes your DNA, and
Fun
it's like
polyrhythms and everything. Yeah.
and that, you know, and then just jams with himself for a little while, and then just the sound, like never mind Maynard's vocals, which are incredible, but the sound that three human beings can create, that fundamentally changes your life.
Mhm.
And that's not an understatement, but it's like, and it's like, fair play. And they didn't even play a greatest hits set. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They don't have to, right?
No, no.
It was deep cuts on Monday, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's great.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah. And I think like the secret to that kind of dynamic of me making a load of music and it's Simon, I think as long as this is happening, and the thing is, I send something to Simon, he's excited about it, and when he sends it back, I think it's a million times better. And I think if that keeps happening,
cool.
then that's good.
Yeah, that's super
good.
sustainable for both of you, it seems like.
Yeah. Yeah. So
what I think to do.
Yeah, and I think that's, and as long as that's happening, then we can just go for as long as, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The other interesting point that I just want to add about the first album is that we never actually spoke to one another for the entire writing and recording of the album. So
Wow.
we had a video call once we got it finished. So the rest was just messaging and no physical contact whatsoever, as per the rules.
Do you guys usually have physical contact?
Like
what kind of physical contact are we talking about here?
Russ doesn't like it, but I like to give him a hug every now and again.
Hey, there we go. You know, Russ looks like the guy that would give hugs, though.
I am. He's shedding me in a bad light here. I'm the hugger, if anything. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's why that album, the first album, was written in silence, because it was.
That's
like
brilliant.
We just sent WhatsApp messages. Even the files were on WhatsApp. That's very funny. Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of curious where your guys' more ethereal influences came from. I mean, you said you were in a black metal band and stuff like that, and obviously it's got some layers to it for sure. Definitely not the kind of layers that you're putting down here. Curious where that influence comes from.
So I think both of us have I know everyone says this is like a cliche, but we genuinely do have a stupidly broad music taste. So it's even when we're playing in bands or whatever, we're not listening to that all the time, you know. It's not like we're in this scene and we're just like nails the whole way, you know. It's like there's other stuff going on. Yeah, I think we grew up listening to lots and lots of different stuff, and I'm a huge I'm a huge Slint fan, you know, and yeah, a lot of that post rock stuff, that Mogwai and kind of God to Be to Black Emperor, all that kind of stuff. So, but I also love a lot of like jazz and stuff as well. My dad was a jazz fan, so I grew up with that. So kind of a lot of that more nice, quiet, mellow jazz stuff. So it's always been in there, and I'm always drawn to that kind of stuff. So all those nice clean guitar kind of syncopated patterns are all kind of on their own without the noise behind them. They are quite like kind of a little bit jazz influence kind of thing. But so I get as much of a buzz out of syncopated, twinkly, clean Fender guitars as I do blast beats. You know, so I get the same vibe, you know. So it's I think it's just something that's and I think I remember we realized this a while ago, Simon. We were talking about it. We didn't even talk about what kind of music this was going to be.
No.
So when we said let's make some blah 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 music, I sent that first song, and that's what it sounded like. And then we just carried on doing that. We just carried on making, just making whatever. Yeah.
And then the way with the vocals, because so I'm upstairs in my house right now, but downstairs I've got a small studio. I call it a studio. It's a small room that I recorded, but and because I was mainly recording the vocals I was literally getting up at 5 and in the morning and recording and then working. So I worked throughout the pandemic, in the NHS with the health service in the UK, and
because you guys actually have one of those, right?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was on this podcast. We were going to talk about that, but we can. You've got an election coming up, have you? Something like that. Anyway,
Maybe it could be.
We'll see if we make it to it.
Yeah,
It might be another riot. Who knows?
But so I'd be up at 5, kind of recording these vocals, and my wife and 2 daughters would not have appreciated had I been wow, and so everything is like fairly, apart from a few different places, and it's probably changed a little bit on this second album, but not too much. Like it's fairly like quietly sung and really layered, like as many harmonies as I could possibly work out how to put them on. So there was like it was a necessity really for that type of vocal style. But actually, I've always loved, like, that's the reason I love Tool, is that you get the light in the shade and absolutely devastating music and devastating vocals, but like sung so sweetly, and it's like that's totally my vibe.
It's such a beautiful juxtaposition, right?
Yeah, totally. Although every now and again I try and, like, I did smoke for years in the vain attempt to try and get some kind of gruff voice, but it never quite worked out that way.
Yeah, you're not quite Bruce Springsteen yet.
Not yet. There's still time.
There's still time. That's right.
The beard must get grayer. Like, it's just, it can go a little bit wider.
Yeah, you gotta go do a blue collar American job, and then it just happens. It just comes out of you.
Work in a coal mine for a while.
Yeah. I mean, you could go work in one of the old English coal mines.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Mate.
One of the things I do love about your guys' music, you guys are like talking a little bit about some of these influences, and obviously we're going to get to that in just a second. But what I do love is, like, when Cullen and I have been talking about your guys' music, we've brought up, bands like Slint and Tool and Mogwai and Mono and Godspeed and, all these different bands. And like the fact that you guys, like, sort of unsolicited are bringing up these bands, I'm like, I feel like we're so confirmed in, like, some of these comparisons or some of these, like, similarities that we're hearing in the music. So it's good to know that, like, some of the bands that we're hearing in your guys' music are actual bands that are influencing the sound.
Yeah, and to go along with that, it's not that you necessarily sound just like them, because you guys are bringing a whole nother element here that
totally
you don't really get from any of those bands. I mean, maybe some of, like, the Mogwai songs in which is it Braithwaite sings or whatever? Can't remember his name. Yeah. So some of those, I mean, I can sense some of it in those songs in particular, but this is different. I mean, it has a little bit more of an indie rock feel almost, which is it's such a cool concoction. And I think, I might be jumping the gun here. So at the end of our podcasting year, we do our top albums of the year, and we shout out those. And I'm pretty certain you guys are going to be on my top list here. Now, I haven't heard all of the new album yet, but
yeah, don't bother. They're all rubbish.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. I haven't had this much anticipation for an album for a long time. But the singles you guys have put out thus far are absolutely incredible. And I just want to give you your flowers for this, because this is an undertaking that I'm really happy exists in the world now. So
amazing. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, we can just retire now. That's it. Game over. Done. We completed it, mate.
Yeah. Yeah.
You made the BlackSheep podcast list.
That's right.
You've made
the highest of achievements.
You could do like those that kind of a early 80s hardcore band and be like, okay, someone said it's okay, we can split up now.
Yeah.
We just made 10 songs that were like a 10-minute album of 10 songs, and we're done.
Yeah. Yeah, all we need is a great t-shirt design and just let it go into the future.
That's true. Exactly. That's true.
Well, I don't know whether you guys have watched the Slint documentary, Breadcrumb Trail.
I haven't, but I want to. Yeah,
you should. It's stunning just in terms of the history and just how young they were.
Yeah.
When they
and they were only a band for a very, very short amount of time, right? And then they released Spiderland, and then they were broken up before it was even fully released, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And then this whole thing has just become like
massive.
Spiderland is something else.
Yeah. It's Slint, Spiderland, and it's American football with their self-titled. I mean, it's basically they're very, very similar stories.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And I heard
I saw Slint in the early 2001 maybe. They did this thing called All Tomorrow's Parties in the UK, and it's where they get a band to curate all the other bands, so they choose the rest of the bands to headline it.
Well, that's cool.
And Slint reunited, and obviously I was there like a shot. So I was like, yes, come on, let's go and see this. And it was really great because at the very beginning of the set they had a technical hitch, and someone said into the microphone, we're just a technical hitch, please be patient. And someone in the crowd shouted, we waited 15 years. It was amazing. The whole crowd just erupted. It was so funny. Yeah, so cool. But absolutely incredible gig. Like, not a dry eye in the house.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Well, speaking of a lot of these bands that you all like and we like too, let's talk about top 5 influential albums. And it sounds like you all you sort of collectively have a top 5 list, not like you want to do it individually. Is that the sound of it?
I think so. It's kind of. It might have could it be a top 6 so we can get 3 each?
Yeah, let's go top 6 and let's go back and forth between you if we can.
Breaking the
particular
rules.
order.
Yeah, so I'm definitely having at number 1 Spiderland.
Oh. There we go. Now,
of course,
definitely can feel it with Spiderland with you guys. The influences there again, especially with like the kind of the jagged riffs, along with that very strange time signature rhythm of I can't think all of a sudden. What was I going to say? Very strange sense of time when it comes to percussion and everything like that. Rhythmically, just a very strange band. But it works so well. Definitely feel it with you guys.
Cool. Awesome. Number 2. Straight in at number 2. This will be for both of us, and Slinties. But so Joni Mitchell, Blue.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Are you channeling your inner Joni Mitchell when you sing?
Do you know what? I'd love to, but I will never reach those heights. But that album as a complete body of work is something else, and it's incredible. Like there are amazing. Well, I was going to say living singers. Joni Mitchell's still living, thank goodness. But in terms of vocal range and melody, like this, just even in A Case of You, like just the way that melody rises and falls and goes all over the place. It's something else.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
I could only hope to replicate that in an octave lower and still not reach the high points.
Yeah. Wow. Love it. 3.
Yeah.
I can't remember what we were talking about this morning. It's a very difficult list because we were trying to do our top 10 albums in our office at work, and we had to have one for each genre because we found it really difficult to do.
It's a good thought process, though. Good way to go about it.
Okay, I think these are going to be our.
We're not having Limp Bizkit, are we?
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Right.
They just missed the cut.
I think I'm gonna have to have I think they can't be in order because I couldn't let the children fight, Right. But I'm definitely going for Super Unknown Soundgarden.
Oh
yes! Oh man, that's right to the dagger of my heart. That's exactly. This is a list designed for me, essentially.
Nice. Yeah. But
Again, strange time signatures, weird guitar tunings, great layers and different textures of musicality going on there. Man, you guys are nailing it right now.
There's a theme here with these time signatures, right?
Yeah.
But what a voice as well.
Oh my gosh, my all-time favorite.
God rest his soul. But
I actually got very, very excited earlier in the year when I purchased off my friend a PV VTM 160 amp, which is the Soundgarden amp for All About Motorfinger and Some of Super Unknown. It's not the actual amp, but the same model and stuff. And
did both Chris and Kim play that, or was that more of a
mainly Kim, I think, but Chris did use one at one point as well. So it's just it's basically PV's version of a JCM 800, but they just kind of made their own, and it's an absolute beast, absolutely incredible amp. And I'm trying to work out.
It's faithful recreation of the sound, though.
Yeah. But I sadly got it after recording our last album. But
that means you got to get another one out there. Man, PV really owned the 90s, didn't they?
Oh yeah. That logo as well. Come on.
Yeah.
The logo is just drawn by an 8-year-old. It's great.
Cullen, you saw Chris's last performance before he died, right?
Second to last performance.
Second to last.
No.
Yeah.
Where was that? What was it?
It was at a large festival in Council Bluffs, Iowa.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And was it a solo gig or was it
so he was with Soundgarden.
Wow.
And it was absolutely incredible. A few days later, they were in Detroit, and that's when he unfortunately took his life. But I remember actually being in like a true state of depression for at least 2 months after his passing. Just, it's weird because, a family member could pass away, but there's some people when they pass on, you're just like, man, I don't know what to make about the world anymore. For him and Bowie both, it just hit me on another level. So
I still get like a little wobble. I find it quite difficult to watch Beastie Boys footage of MCA. Whenever I see him, like I found this really incredible full gig in Glasgow in Scotland the other day, and I was watching it. This is amazing. The energy is incredible. As soon as he gets on the mic, I'm like, I don't know if I can watch this. I'm gonna have to, it's incredible. Like it's weird, isn't it? You don't know these people, but they infiltrate themselves into you.
I almost feel bad for having such, deep connections to these people that I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But that's the power of music.
That's the beauty of it.
It's the thing that binds us and connects us. It's crazy. Like it is crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Because now 3, right?
Okay.
Now we're on 4. Yep.
4.
Was it? Oh, see, because what you just said and has sparked a new one for me that we didn't talk about today. So this is going to have to be. Can I have one on my own?
Sure.
It's not a shared one.
Have one on your own.
So John, so 70s like folk rock singer John Martin. Don't know whether you've heard of him.
I'm not familiar, but I'll be looking it up right after.
So Martin with a Y, and his album Solid Air, which was so the song Solid Air was written about and for Nick Drake. So have you heard of that singer-songwriter? Another 70s singer-songwriter.
Not familiar with him. But
similarly, so all loads of stories about John Martin, like was fond of a whiskey of an occasion. Like after his heyday in the 70s, continued to tour, made some questionable albums with Phil Collins, but like the 70s stuff is amazing. It's amazing. But when he died, I was exactly the same. I was just like, shit. Like that's just another earth changer who's just gone. It's like, wow. Because by all accounts, I never met him. I've been to see him live. On occasion, he was not a nice man apparently, but for his friends, he was. But it's like the impact that like those songs just have in your life and your psyche, and it's kind of that's why we make music, I guess. Because it's so powerful.
So that we can be eulogized someday.
Exactly. Yeah. So somebody cries for a day.
All right, what else we got?
See, this is getting hard now, but it's gonna have to be tool ornament, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was this is my last one, right?
Yep. Last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was a dice up between that and Michael Jackson Thriller, but it's okay. I'll go with.
Interesting. I want to guess that from you. I like it.
Or Appetite for Destruction.
Now we're just having slaves now.
Or Slave to the Grind.
Yeah, or Slave to the Grind. Skip Breath. Also.
Or Great War of Words by Brian Kennedy. But
right, it's fine.
Carry on. Yeah.
It's a tough list to try to figure out, isn't it?
This is a good way of getting in more.
Yeah. You're just cheating at this point. We get it.
Just keep name dropping. All right, Simon. Let's hear last one.
Amy Grant.
No. Really?
Did you wait? What? Really?
The people across the pond know who Amy Grant is. Wow.
Yeah. You can't tell from my accent, but I grew up in Northern Ireland, and Amy Grant was big
in Northern Ireland, really,
for a time. Yeah.
Wow.
So what you two don't know is I've gone down a complete rabbit hole after listening to your Leah Payne podcast interview.
Sure.
And it's been amazing.
I love it.
So you're lucky Larry Norman didn't make it onto my list. We were talking about first gigs the other day, and I was telling Russ and Aidan, who is along with James and Joe, is helping us put the live stuff together. And I had tickets to go and see Extreme. So this is the Extreme tour when they'd just done More Than Words, and so they were playing the King's Hall in Belfast.
The King's Hall. That is a name of a venue. Holy bucket.
That is a place. And
I think I might have been there once. I don't think it was actually there though.
Really?
In Glasgow. That was a poor attempt at a joke, but
What, to the King's Hall?
I've been to, maybe in the King's Hall. Who knows?
But so what I did was I didn't go to see Extreme because I was too afraid of going to a big gig, so I went to see Larry Norman instead.
Insane.
We'll end the podcast there. That's it. We're done.
That is it.
We're done.
That should be it. What was your last one though? Was it actually Amy Grant?
No. I think. What have we got here? See. Oh, this is one that we can both go for. So we're trying to think of a Jimi Hendrix album.
Ooh.
I would have gone for Axis Bold of Love.
That's what I would have said.
But I think we settled on the best of.
All right.
In true Alan Partridge style.
I love the best of Jimi Hendrix.
What a trio of dudes just absolutely ripping it apart.
God, Jimmy is I grew up, like, the reason I play guitar at all is because I was a really weird 12-year-old that loved electric blues. So I was learning how to play Cream, Clapton, Buddy Guy, BB King.
Hell yeah.
And I actually got asked to stay back after a class because we had quite a hippie English teacher, and we had to write a personal profile, your name, your height, what your interests are, what music you like. And I had put like Pink Floyd, Cream, Jimi Hendrix Experience, and he thought I was taking the piss out of him. So he asked me to stay back after school, and so I stayed back, and he was like, "What do you think you're doing? This isn't funny." And then I said, "No, I'm genuinely I'm learning how to play the guitar. I love all this stuff." And he was like, great. And he brought me in some records to borrow after.
Wow.
No.
And then got
That's
fired,
cool.
and I've still got those records.
That's
Come
awesome.
on.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. You know, that reminds me of a story growing up, because I was a lot like you. I was into a lot of the blues rock and classic rock kind of stuff growing up, and not a lot of my peers were. I would say almost no one was. But I had not a music teacher, but I had a sociology teacher that always did like a guess this song thing at the beginning of class, and I got it right every single day. And he would just get. He was like, you're the only student I've had in the last 15 years that's been able to get all these right. He's like, how do you know all this stuff? And he's like, I'm going to give you a challenge. And I'm like, all right, sounds good. And so he starts playing a song from his daughter's playlist. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the artist named Toby Mac at all.
I don't know. No.
So he's like this Christian music artist, kind of
Like
does
pop
a lot
artist.
of like pop and hip hop kind of
He
stuff.
was in a band called DC Talk, if you know DC Talk.
Yeah,
Like they were really big in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he thinks this is going to be like completely out of left field, nowhere near like my train of thought. Well, I happen to, grow up in the Christian church, and obviously Toby Mac was a part of that journey. And he's like, all right, can you get this one? And I said, oh, that's Toby Mac. That's the song Ignition. And he goes, what the hell? Like, how do you know all this?
Yeah.
And everyone in the class just thought I had like a third eye on my head or something like that. Like I was just a total weirdo. But cool. I got a piece of candy every single day that I got one right. So it was worth it. It was worth it. All right. Sorry for that side tangent. I just thought it was a fun story. Let's move into what you guys would like to plug. Obviously, record coming out June 28th, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Tell us a little more about it. What's the name of it? Where should people go pick it up at?
So the name of the album is Sacred Time. So our second album, out Friday the 28th of June, available on all your streaming websites on that day. 9 songs, is it? Can't remember. There's a few songs on there. 3 of them are singles. The rest aren't. And it's the first album that we've recorded together. No, it's not. It's the second album we recorded together, but this time we did it together.
Actually,
in the same
physically
room.
in the same
physically
place.
in the same room.
Yeah.
We got we went down to Cornwall in England and took over an artist, a friend of ours, an artist studios, Dom Moore, in Cornwall. He's got a room with a massively high ceiling so that we could get our best John Bonham on.
Nice.
And actually record stuff. Well, Russ played it all. I just watched.
Can we expect this ever on vinyl, you think?
Oh, I wish. So the plan is, because we're doing all this ourselves, we decided to keep it all in-house. When I say decided, didn't get any bites.
There was no choice.
We decided to do this all on our own. And so now, to be honest, we haven't really shopped it at all. We just decided we want to do it all on our own because it's nice to have it all in-house. So the plan is we're gonna do some merch soon, and then just once we've built up enough money to get a press in together, we'll do that, and then we'll just continue for those press-ins to pay for themselves, kind of thing. So So we do want to do it, but it's just because we're all doing it off our own backs, and we're just with our day job money.
Sure.
It's kind of so it's just kind of it'll happen. But I think it's nice to do it this way, and I'm making all the music videos because I've got the equipment here.
Yeah,
so,
the music videos thus far have been super high quality. I am absolutely impressed with the music videos as well.
He's good, isn't he?
Obviously he knows a thing or two.
They've got to be, because the students will be like, why is this guy here teaching us?
It's like keep your job.
Awful. So it's been it's nice to keep it all in house in the way that the same as the way of the feeling with the music. It's kind of, I can see the visuals of how the videos are going to go from just the final mixes you're listening. It's like, oh, this would be nice to have
sure.
Like the last single, the one that's out today, actually. That's a plan. So today, there is. It just felt really spacious, so I knew we were gonna. I wanted to shoot slow mo and just keep it all the same pace, not too many cuts, and I also thought it'd be interesting to see how, the young people of these days, the walking stick, will actually
A couple of old guys making
deal,
music.
deal with not many cuts in the film. So it's like attention span. It's like, oh my god, he's been running down the road for maybe 16 bars of this song. What's going on? So I just wanted to see how that went as well.
Love it.
TikTok generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing that sorry, Mason. The other thing we should plug is that alongside the album on the 20th, we have got a documentary that's coming out. So
nice.
Really?
there's a bit of a history of the band, history of our relationship, which has been a long and winding road, it's fair to say. But the wonderful thing about having a filmmaker as your bandmate is that we've also got footage of the pair of us from the mid-90s when we didn't have white beards, which is amazing. So you kind of see the whole story.
There's more hair up here and less right here.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Was there a samurai haircut then too?
Do you know, no. There was quite a lot of quiffs going on there.
Yeah, definitely. I was full, really long hair.
Do you ever braid your hair being in a black metal band?
No, I didn't go there. No, I did have. It was when I was back in maybe around when I was like 18, 19, and I was playing in kind of death metal bands, crusty death metal bands in the town we're from, Plymouth. You had to have some dreads at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really, really into Carcass, still am.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's Jeff Walker, singer of Carcass, had the dreads, and it was like, he's cool. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, you were just channeling your inner Boudica, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen. There's we tried to do some singles, a little EP of songs that were all based around the time when we met. So we did a Tori Amos cover, a Carcass cover, and that's as far as we got, because we were like, I started sending really slinty versions of Pantera songs, and Simon was like, "It's okay."
Yeah, let's do a second album. Be all right.
Yeah, let's drop
Leave
that.
that, man.
Yeah. If you haven't heard them, definitely check out the Tori Amos Winter. Sounds like Melvin's, which is great.
Oh, nice.
And then the Carcass one sounds like Slint, I guess.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Carcass, but Slint. Yeah, it's great. Yeah,
love it. Sweet. Anything else you'd like to plug?
We do have some posters arriving soon. So we've got these really nice Riso print, in between screen print and photocopied posters that are really cool, of me and Simon looking up, and our third eyes are melding into a mountain.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So they're
so
coming.
Buddhist of you guys. I love it.
Yeah.
Or Hindu. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe both.
Yeah. So we're pink versions of us with these beams coming out of our heads and making a mountain. It's pretty cool. Yeah. So that's happening. Yeah.
That's cool.
Wicked.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I have to pick one of them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do love the visuals that you guys got going on. Whether it's like the album artwork, obviously the music videos, you've nailed the visual aspect of the band really well.
Amazing. Yeah, they're all accidents as well. This is great. It's all just things that are happening to us. So we just capture them and just put them up. The one on the new album cover with the blurry car, that was just, I was on the way home, being a filmmaker, cinematography specialist. It was like there was a beautiful beam of fog above this car under a street light. I was like, that's great. I'm going to get a picture of that. So I just took it on my phone, forgetting that at night you have to hold it in one place for the
aperture to work.
Yeah. I just put it in my pocket, and then when I looked at it, it was all, and I was like, that looks great. And then the Simon said, new album cover, and he was like, yeah, let's do that. And then we had another idea for a cover with the when you're on Instagram and something's loading, it's got the little circle.
Yeah.
We were like a half loaded circle for the album cover, just because it's, you know, we're older and it's like,
Playing with people's minds.
Half loaded. Like, does that mean like you guys are like half high all the time?
no, it's
Loaded,
it was
How dare you? Colin? How dare you?
yeah, it was
I'm
more
a respectable member of society.
yeah. It was more like a patience thing. Like when we were younger, we had to wait for stuff. It wasn't all on
Sure.
demand. So it was a bit of that. And then I sent both of them to Simon and said, which one should we use? And Simon said, and I still don't know what this means, I like the one with the car because it's more Northern Irish.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I think you do know what it
Mis-
means, but I don't think
mis-
you're actually telling
mis-
me.
I genuinely don't. I don't know what.
I mean, I think cars and Northern Ireland and everything like that. Wasn't there like a whole thing in the 80s and 90s about all that stuff? Or I don't know.
Yeah, we put all that behind us now.
Okay, all right. Just checking.
No need to bring that up, Colin. Thank you. But the photograph, you know, it just looks slightly Northern Irish.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. There we
Sweet.
go.
Well, we're
So
super
there.
stoked for the new album to come out. It's truly, at the very least, it's going to be mentioned in our top 5 when we do the episode in December.
Yes.
So
Amazing.
we're super stoked for the new album to come out. We're definitely going to be listening to it on repeat, and yeah, hopefully at some point we can get it on vinyl, because I'd love to see the vinyl and actually be able to hear it on vinyl at some point too. So
Yes.
thanks so much for chatting more about the music, guys. This has been so fun. You guys are great, so we'd love to have you back on.
And thank you, like, for even asking us. This is pretty wild, to be honest, for us,
Totally.
because we're like,
Hey.
yeah, you know.
We're just two blokes from the prairies of the United States, and we're just happy to have wonderful music players such as yourselves. So